recording. Okay, I'm going to try this. Hopefully the volume thing works a little better when I strap it to my chest. I'm going to sit down and do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to sit down and we're going to do this. Okay, let's try one like 35. How many of you guys had difficulty with problem 35? Oh, all right. I sensed that because when I did it, it was tricky. So we're going to write 35 out. 1 minus sine of theta divided by 1 plus sine of theta is equal to secant theta minus tangent theta quantity squared. You know what? I think that my blue folder is screwing up the aperture. Nope. No, it's okay. I'll do it later. Okay. Can you guys see that better? Yeah. Beauty. Okay, so we have our left-hand side. You have your right-hand side. Which side looks easier to manipulate? The right-hand side. Can we all agree that the right-hand side, at least I can begin by foiling? Okay, so we know what we can do. We can foil right off the bat. The right-hand side. Can we write it, or should we eventually try and write it in terms of sine? We should, eventually, right? So let's just keep that as the vision. That's where we're trying to go. But we're going to FOIL first. So I'm going to start and I'm going to write right-hand side. And I'm just going to write it. It is secant theta minus tangent theta quantity squared. Okay, and what's the shortcut for distributing this? How do you square this? Is it secant squared minus tangent squared? No. We square this first term, take the product, or you take twice the product of the two inners, and you square the last term. So this is secant squared of theta minus, because one of them is negative, 2 times that, which is secant theta tangent theta.
It's like a squared plus 2ab.
Yeah, it's that example that's on the board right now. Yeah, top right corner over there. Now what happens when you square negative tangent theta? It becomes positive. Okay. So now we can put this in terms of sine and cosine. Exactly. So this is equal to 1 over cosine squared of theta minus 2 times 1 over cosine theta times sine of theta over cosine theta. The 1 over cosine is secant. The sine over cosine is the tangent. Plus we're going to write this as sine squared theta over cosine squared of theta. Does anyone see where this is going? I can't zoom in. Shoot. You know what I can do? I can maximize that window. Better? Yeah. Lovely. Okay. So, the denominators are the same, actually. All of them. This is actually cosine squared theta if it was simplified. So this is 1 minus 2 sine of theta plus sine squared of theta over cosine squared of theta. So let's look at the denominator. Remember, I want to write this in terms of just sine. So how does cosine squared relate to sine? Yeah, that's 1 minus sine squared of theta. Pal, what did you say about the numerator?
The numerator is perfect square.
Yes.
It's 1 minus sine squared.
The numerator can be factored as 1. You see, this is one thing squared plus twice the product of 1 and sine, and then the square of sine. So just like how we expanded this first step, we're going to then go backwards and factor it. Okay? So this is 1 minus sine theta quantity squared. Well, let's see. So does it look something similar to where we need to go? Except I have too many in the numerator, and I have this. Its sine's not being squared in the denominator of the left-hand side, so I must be able to rewrite this in some other way.
What is the difference of perfect squares?
And that is the difference of perfect squares. And so we're going to factor that. This is 1 minus sine of theta times 1 minus sine of theta. That's just the numerator expanded. And then 1 minus sine of theta times 1 plus sine of theta as the difference of perfect squares. And then these cancel. And this is 1 minus sine of theta over 1 plus sine of theta, which is the left-hand side. And you know what I like to do here is fill in this little block as like a conclusion for the end of a proof. The block is actually mathematical.